Alright, how's it going, everyone? Kapinarmic here, here with another episode recap. It has been a long time since I've done one of these. But hey, this time we're doing one because I've actually seen an episode of something that, evoked a strong enough emotion out of me that I actually wanted to do a recap on it, and also I have the time to do it, which I probably won't have for long, considering I am leaving on a 10 to 12 hour drive back to college in less than 24 hours, so I gotta get this done. Also, pardon me if I sound a little bit weird, because I'm sick. I've been sick this entire week, and I still kinda am, so, bear with me. Sorry. Also spoilers, if you don't want spoilers to this episode, I can't do a recap on this episode without spoiling stuff, so if you're not into spoilers, like I am, I strongly advise you don't listen to this. So, today we're doing a recap on Steven Universe, Season 2, Episode 25, Message Received, premiering January 7th, 2016. I don't know why I still do those things when I'm doing recaps. These are very casual things, and I'm gonna botch the heck out of this and not give this the glory it deserves, because I suck at these things. So basically, this is all part of this whole, Steven's birthday week, which is more like Steven's birthday day. That actually makes more sense. Cause, the past, what is it, four episodes seem to have all taken place on the same day, which I think is really cool. But, aside from that fact, in the episode previous to this, titled It Could Have Been Great, at the end of that, we see Peridot, sneaking a thing away from the moon base back to Earth, and we don't know what it is at that point in time, and it's in this episode, Message Received, that we find out that, it's, a communicator to contact Homeworld, more specifically Yellow Diamond, her diamond, Yellow Diamond, to take care of this whole cluster situation, quote, properly, unquote, because, Peridot feels like, I could just talk to her and, this entire thing would be taken properly. You gems don't know what you're doing. I could call up Yellow Diamond, have this whole thing be taken care of the way it's supposed to be taken care of, because, y'all just you're just kind of dumb. And Steven finds out about this, and he's shocked because it's like, we trusted you so much, and you're still trying to contact Homeworld? Like, what the heck? So he manages to trick Peridot, and he takes the communicator and traps Peridot with the earth power of the child's safety lock, and goes and tells the gems, what Peridot's up to, and shows the communication device. The gems are like, come on. How could she do this? We've come so far, and all this junk. And Peridot manages to escape the barn via her robot, and she manages to get back the communicator. Jeez. And she, long story short, after a brief chase sequence, she still manages to get into contact with Yellow Diamond. However, her reasons for contacting aren't what we originally thought. Yes, she's contacting Yellow Diamond to have her take care of the situation, but the situation at hand isn't necessarily, what we thought it was going to be. Turns out, Peridot actually does want to spare the Earth. She still doesn't want the cluster to become a thing. She wants to spare the Earth because, it has resources worth preserving. She doesn't necessarily say what those resources are, but I think we could take a wild guess as to what those are. But Yellow Diamond isn't having any of that. She doesn't care about preserving stuff. She wants her cluster because, that's what she wants. And Peridot basically disagrees in a very, very interesting and an intriguing way, which I'll get into a bit later down the line. And long story short, Peridot ends up defying Yellow Diamond, and she becomes a crystal gem because she doesn't agree with what Yellow Diamond is standing for anymore. And all in all, I really enjoyed this episode for a number of reasons, which I will try to get into now. I have them written down here in a freaking Tumblr conversation I had. These are all my points in a freaking Tumblr conversation. You know who you are. You know, one of the more obvious reasons that, you know, I shouldn't even have to say why I like this episode is, you know, the reveal of Yellow Diamond. Obviously, you know, it's been built up ever since the second to last episode of season 1. I don't know. It's been a while. You know, she was first addressed quite a while ago, and you know, to finally see her now, and she looks really cool too. She looks like a banana. I'm sorry, like that headpiece. I don't know what it is about that headpiece. It just makes me think of a banana. But bananas aside, she looks really cool. I really like her design. I really like her face. And she just looks really cool. I really like her design. Next reason, obviously, Peridot standing up to and defying Yellow Diamond. That was just really, 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 really satisfying to witness. You know, it's like, we see Yellow Diamond, you know, we know what she's about. We know, you know, she's about eradicating the Earth, and, you know, just the few seconds we get with her being introduced, which is also really cool that we get her main objective and motive, all that within those first few seconds. And it's like, you know, we're automatically like, yeah, we don't stand for that. And Peridot's like, yeah, I don't think I stand for that either. And it's just like the way that she's just like, you know, it starts off as like, you know, I kind of have a different suggestion for you. And basically that's slowly evolving into, you know, screw what you think. I don't care. I want to protect this Earth, you clod. It's just that escalation is just so, it just feels so good. You know, and it's done in such a way that it's like, it still fits with Peridot's character, if that makes any sense. You know, it's like Peridot, you know, despite being super loyal to Yellow Diamond, she's, you know, she's still disagreeing with her, but not in a way that is like cheesy Saturday morning cartoon, well, I guess it's the right thing to be good, and I'm gonna be good from now on. You know, it's, she still has that Peridot-like mentality, you know? It's like, she's disagreeing with what Yellow Diamond's saying, but, you know, like there was, when Yellow Diamond was like, are you questioning my, jeez, I forgot what she said. She's, are you questioning my something? And then Peridot's like, no, I'm questioning your something else. And then it's like, she just realized what she said. And then she's like, and then she goes into the like, you know, my diamond, you know, sort of like, respect sort of pose. So it's like, yeah, I respect you, but, you know, you're still wrong. You know, and it's done in that really nice hybrid sort of way. So it's like, yeah, Peridot's standing up for a different cause than she was before, but it's not in a way that completely sucks her of her previously established character, you know? Despite defying Yellow Diamond, you know, after she's done with that conversation, she's like, the heck did I just do? You know, it's like, did I just insult my superior? Did I just, you know, say screw you to the person I respect the most in my entire life? What the heck did I just do? You know, and it's like, she's standing up for what's right, but, you know, she's still Peridot. She's not like, let's protect the Earth. You know, let's bake cupcakes and sing Disney songs about friendship. Actually, they did do that. Oh my gosh. Scratch that last part. Let's, you know, it's like, let's hug and care and friendship is magic and all that stuff. You know, it's like, she's still Peridot. Which I really like, you know. That's good. And I like that. I'm glad there's no character 180, which is great. And the thing that happened before this, you know, not too far before this, was the chase sequence between Peridot and the gems, and then they catch up with her, and Steven tackles Peridot And Steven's like, don't do this. Yeah, I freaking trusted you, before the whole reveal of, Peridot's new intent is. And Peridot is all like, this is your problem. You all make decisions based on emotion rather than reason. And then, just to have, Peridot make a decision to Yellow Diamond based on emotion rather than, I guess, quote unquote reason. Peridot lets her emotions get the better of her in a good way when she's defying Yellow Diamond. So I think that's just a really cool, it builds a pretty cool bridge, considering that she is now guilty of what she was accusing Steven for just like a good 2 minutes earlier. So she just said that, now she's doing it, and now she's a crystal gem. So it's almost like subconscious initiation. In order to become a crystal gem, you have to act on your emotions rather than reason, like a robot. The colors as well. Oh man, I love the colors in this episode. Steven Universe, just in general, does a really good job with colors. And I don't think I've ever seen a show that uses colors to portray mood as well as Steven Universe does since My Life as a Teenage Robot. My Life as a Teenage Robot is a show that I absolutely love stylistically, and it always did a really cool job in using colors to portray moods. Like if something dangerous is happening, everything would be like a shade of red, and everything would be like a shade of green or a green tint or something like that. And it was really good in portraying the mood. And same for Steven Universe, particularly this episode too. The whole confrontation scene with Yellow Diamond, everything's got like this tint of green, and it just looks really good, and I really love it. And the colors in this episode are really good. I love them. Is it a secret that I really like this episode? I think I've kept it pretty low key that I like this episode. It's been really subtle. Peridot's facial expressions as well. Peridot's facial expressions are always really good, but her facial expressions in this episode were really on point. Like really, I loved Peridot's faces in this episode. I really like exaggerated faces in cartoons in general. And Peridot always just makes really, really good ones, especially when she's saying Claude to Yellow Diamond's face, and she just gets that huge mouth and, that elongated face. Oh my gosh, that portrays the emotion so well, and I love it. It's great. Peridot's faces are great, especially in this episode. They're great. They're great. They're really, really great. Also that pearl. Oh my gosh, that pearl. I really like how they've been keeping that continuity ever since that reveal where it's like, there's more than one of every gem. And then all of a sudden, since they've said that, they're just popping up everywhere. I think this is the second pearl we've seen. The first additional pearl we saw was in, The Answer. And now we're seeing one again as, Yellow Diamond's servants. And oh my gosh, that Grinch face that she makes. I don't know if you noticed. You had to have noticed it. That Grinch face that she makes when she kind of just pops in to Yellow Diamond and Peridot's conversation. I love that face so much. Oh my gosh, it's great. It's great. It's hilarious. I love that face. I guess we're trickling down into like the smaller reasons why I like this episode. So I guess we'll just continue on with those. Oh yeah. I still love how Peridot is ignorant to a lot of different Earth things, to the point where it's like this time she's been bested by a child safety lock on a car door. When she's first getting locked in, she just seems so helpless when, it's obviously, to us, it's simple to unlock a car door, but this is Peridot we're talking about. Now, she knows next to nothing about Earth. Well, apparently more than Yellow Diamond, her Claude, But it's just really funny to see Peridot, confused by, to us, seem to be the simplest of Earth concepts. And this one is also no exception. Her getting confused and scared about being trapped in a truck from a simple lock. It's great. I love it. How many times have I said I love it in this thing? I don't know. I don't care. I love this episode. I already said how I like how all these episodes have basically taken place within the same day or 2 days. I don't know if the moon, when they went to the moon, years passed. Years. I don't know if when they went to the moon, like a day passed. I don't freaking know. And it's like, was this planned? Like, this had to have been planned. This couldn't have been something where Cartoon Network and the Steven crew were just like, hey, we just so happen to have these 5 episodes that fall under the same day. Do you think we could have a new episode a week where all of these fall under the same? This had to have been planned to a certain extent, obviously. Regardless, I really like it. How it's a week in new episodes, and it's like the next one just basically picks up where the last one left off. That's basically Steven Universe in general, actually. The entirety of Steven Universe has taken place in one day. No. But, you know what I mean. Also, Helicopter Amethyst. I just like Helicopter Amethyst. It just looks cool. It looks funny. Just a helicopter with a giant amethyst face on it. It's just something that I like. I can't really put a reason on it. I just like it. I also like this one line that Pearl said, which I actually think was in the commercial for this whole Steven Week thing. I still like it though, when they're about to chase after Peridot in the amethyst helicopter, and Garnet grabs Steven to pull him in the helicopter because he's busy feeling stupid and terrible. And Pearl is basically like, don't worry, Steven, you can feel as bad as you want when we get back to the temple. And it's like, dang it, Pearl! That's not how you be a mom. Ignorance is great. And I don't know. I think that's all that's coming to my mind right now. That's all I have written down in this Tumblr conversation with my friend. Yeah, I think that's it. I really like this episode, guys, and I still don't think the reasons that I listed were enough. I still don't feel like I did this episode recap justice, even though I really love this episode, and it's one of, if not my favorite episode of this season so far, actually. But yeah, do you like this episode? Do you hate this episode? Put it in the comments below. I'd really like to see what a lot of you think about this episode, because I really loved it. And, hey, special thanks. I don't know if you want me to say your name on this or not, but I'm saying it. Special thanks to my friend, actually. Oh, jeez, I always pronounce this wrong. Rapidopatter? There's a freaking link in the description to her Tumblr. She's super good at art, and if it wasn't for her asking how I thought the episode was, I never would have listed my reasons, and I probably never would have made this episode recap. So thanks to her, because she always asks me what I think about certain episodes, and I always reply with, "It was good." I never elaborate. So, she made sure to ask me to elaborate for this specific episode, and I did. So, special thanks to her, because if she never asked me to elaborate, I never probably would have made this video. And, yeah, I guess that's basically it. If you hate this episode, that's fine. I'm just one opinion on the internet, and, I'll see you guys in whatever next video I make. Goodbye.